We are pretty honored today. We have some crazy special guests in the house. But first, I'd like to introduce Danny Boom Rodriguez. Won multiple national competitions, a competitor in the solar door-to-door space, top leader, top recruiter, over 500 plus installations, career lifetime, and one of the best leaders in the industry, and someone that I call my best friend. And I am super honored to be here with you today and our guest in the house.
What about you? Pistol Pete, 34 signed deals in 2 weeks during COVID, 293 installations in 1 year, 500 plus installation, top recruiter, and like you say, one of my best friends. But it's not about you and me today.
It is not about us today.
It's about a special guest that we have, an amazing guest with us. And I'm going to highlight some of his careers. He was 5-time Major League Baseball All-Star.
5 times?
5 times. He won the Silver Slugger Award 2 times, the Edgar Martinez Award, and he finished the runner-up, which I think he should have won, the MVP for 2014, which I think, again, he should have won. With us, Víctor Martínez. Victor, thank you for being here, for accepting our invitation.
The man, the myth, the legend, Víctor Martínez.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I feel that I'm between two of the top of the top, sellers. So I'm pretty honored and happy for you guys to having me today.
Thank you. We're happy to have you here. And, we treat our teams, or reps, pretty much like athletes. And that's why we want you to be here, because you are a professional sport player. And it's a little bit related to what we do. It's not the same, but it's related because they had to work very hard. They had to do door to door. They had to go door by door trying to find families to help to qualify for the program. And it's not easy. You had to be disciplined. You had to put the hours. You had to overcome frustrations. A lot of things that maybe a person like you can give us the recipe for what you did in your career. So we're happy to have you here.
For sure. I mean, in our industry, we're getting so many no's. In our industry, we're getting so many no's. We're getting thrown out of neighborhoods. People call the police on us. People let their dog out to attack us. And it's very rewarding, but along the journey, it's so easy for us to give up. And the top performers in our space don't give up.
Right. So, I say it. If it was easy, anybody can do it. So I'll start with the frustration part, which is I in this game we basically get paid to fail. In the game of baseball, I put this example. You guys work, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a day in a week.
Yeah.
What happens if one of your workers only comes 3 times a week? The chances that he get fired are big. So any work out there, right? So we go to the plate 10 times and you get 3 hits. Well, guess what? You're going to end up being in the Hall of Fame.
3 hits out of 10 and you get them. So it's not easy is what you're saying.
It's not easy. And frustration, it happened to me a lot. Season's over in October. I used to take from 2 to 3 weeks off, and I started working again. Spend the whole off season working out, and then season start. I start really struggling, and a lot of times I sit down at home and I'm like, why did I work so hard and to be doing it like this? But you know what? At the end of the day, I thought to myself, if this was easy, anybody would be doing it. So I knew that my only concern was to be healthy, because if I'm healthy, I know my numbers at the end of the year are going to be there. And translating this for you guys, and you said it earlier, the mindset is the biggest. It's the biggest thing. Like in baseball, there is a saying: it's 90% mentally and the 10% physically, and it's the truth. And I think this applies for a lot of things. I can imagine like you guys working around here. you have to go into your car and just thinking about, I have to drive 50 minutes to this place, then I have to drive back another 40 minutes, and when you start thinking like that, and a lot of people will, you know what, man, I'm not doing this. But that's why you guys are, doing what you're doing, because there's a lot of people that whining. They don't have the fire to do that, and you put that together with the mentality with a guy that play a professional sport that high level, and I think it come hand to hand. You have to have that. You have to have that mentality. I call it that dog mentality. I learned, back in the days, and I thank God I learned a lot of things that I learned just watching. I used to sit down in front of my locker and I watch the other guy, and I learned a lot watching. So I say, man, whoever put in the work, whoever that works hard has the right to get better.
I love it. And I'm thinking when I start my career, and I'm very related to what Victor say. The mentality is the attitude that you have is the most important things. You can have the talent, but if you don't have the attitude and the mentality, you don't want to go anywhere. And Victor, you don't know this, but when I start my career and when everybody start in this business, we ask them to stand up and introduce themselves and say their name, what they're doing before, and what's their favorite food. And we ask, who is your superhero? Who is the person that you look?
They don't ask it like that, though.
Well,
what do they say?
You tell me what they say.
Who is your
crush?
Your man crush.
Your man crush.
Your man crush. And Danny said Victor Martinez. You should be sitting closer together.
I say Víctor Martínez.
Yeah.
A lot of time people say Superman and Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. I said Víctor Martínez.
They were saying Tiger Woods, but Danny said Victor Martinez.
They probably say, who's Victor Martinez?
No, they did not.
No, they knew. They knew. But they say, you know him or something. Yeah, I know him, but that's a person that I look forward, to, because he's a great example, not only for me but for a lot of people, a lot of kids, young people there, and but mostly because the person that he's out of the field too, the person that he's with his family, his friends, and that's a person that I like it. So you was my inspiration, my motivation when I started this career. So it is like that, and I always tell my reps, it's the mentality that you have, the attitude. You can have talent, but if you don't have it here, you're not gonna go anywhere.
Danny, let me. Sorry for interrupt you, but this just came out to my mind. The way we were raised in Venezuela. My mom.
So you're from Venezuela? Where in Venezuela?
Ciudad Bolívar.
Oh, okay.
So,
and you're from Venezuela too?
Caracas.
Yeah.
Caracas. Wow.
So I lost my dad when I was 6-7 years old. So my mom used to be a nurse. My mom used to make around $100 to support 4 kids, and the education that she could give us at that moment. I mean, it wasn't something, out of the world, but it was enough for me to be who I am right now, and I'm grateful for that. And my mom raised all of us very respectful, and so I remember when I came here, I was a guy that I was respectful, but I was a little shy. And once I make it to the big leagues, I noticed that, at the first time I faced Roger Clemens,
Wow.
I almost melt on the plate because I used to watch the guy on TV, and it was a big deal. And it's Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson. It was hard. It was really hard. And at some point, after the game, I sat in front of my locker for about an hour. And I started a conversation with God, just him and I just talking, what can I do? Because the Roger Clemens, I went 0 for 4 and 3 strikeout. And I was like, what can I do? What can I do? So I came with a conclusion that, you know what? These people deserve all the respect out of the stadium. Now that I in the same field playing against him, I don't care if you're a Hall of Famer. I don't care if you make $20 million a year and I'm making the minimum. If you're trying to disrespect me and play with the food of my family, we're going to have to fight. that this doesn't mean that I'm gonna disrespect you. If you're trying to disrespect me, I'm not gonna let him do it, because if not, what's gonna happen when I face Pedro Martinez? What's gonna happen when I face Randy Johnson? They're gonna do the same thing to me, and guess what? Victor Martinez is gonna end up in the AAA. So I came to that. He came to the conclusion that every time that I was going from home to the field, I looked myself in the mirror. Okay, the nice guy stay home. Now the dog's going to the field.
Love that.
Nice guys stay home. Now the dogs go to the field. Now, how could we translate that into what we do?
Yeah.
We're in the car. We go to our neighborhood. We have to canvass the neighborhood, knock on these doors. We're in the car, and what's the biggest problem in our space?
To open that door.
We can't even get out of the car.
Yeah, to open the door in the car.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
there's, this is what I call, and this is something that I just told Danny. I've been out of the game for 5 years, and I think I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in the game today, because I feel that I can give a lot to the game that gave me everything. And just because the game of baseball has changed so much, but this is something that I'm having a problem with it. Yeah, I mean, since the 1800s till today, how many things has changed? And, everything has changed. Everything has progressing, right?
Yeah.
But what about respect? Respect never have to change. Respect always have to be there. You know what I'm saying? So
I love that.
this is something that we need to have in the world. Respect, then have education, or the education to have the respect. So you're telling me that people doesn't even want to open the door, but a lot of those people might need education for what you guys are doing today. Because maybe this is something new for a lot of people. It was new for me. Trust me, when I met Danny, I didn't know, but maybe, little by little, you guys are gonna do it because you're already doing it. Mm-hmm. But most of those people, they just need a little bit of education for what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
And respect for themselves too.
Yeah, respect for themselves.
Yeah. If you're already there in the area, at least go out and try it, right?
Right. And I like that. Now, what did you say? Like when you look in the mirror, you're leaving what at home?
The good guys stay home.
The good guy stays home.
And the dog's going to the field.
And the dogs go into the field. So get out of your cars.
Yes.
Leave the good guy at home. Look in that mirror and realize the dog is going out into that area to knock doors and to dominate.
Right. We have a saying in Venezuela, Danny, that if I'm going to die, I'm going to die trying.
Yes.
I'm going to die with my best, my best stuff.
Yes.
So
Yep.
go get out of the car and try it. You're not going to lose anything.
This is gold.
Yeah.
This is gold.
And we always say, just go one more door. One more door. You never know what's the door that is going to open for you. And I guess it's the same for you guys. When you go to try to hit a hit, just you step there and try. If you fail, go again and try.
And trust me, that mentality, man. That mentality, it's 90%. Trust me, I struggled a lot during my career. A lot. I was a good hitter, yes. But I struggled a lot. One time I went 0 for 30. And most of the time, I wasn't out, just walking from the on-deck circle to the plate. I was just down on myself. And some days I was 0 for 15, but my mentality was different. I just get on that batter's box and I look at you. You're the pitcher, and I look at you like, I'm the man here. Even I'm struggling, but I'm lifting myself up, and I'm the man here. And I just kept trying and just kept trying. And I think that's something that can translate for you guys.
Yeah.
This door didn't open. This door didn't open, but it's easy. Trust me, it's easy just to think, man, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad month. I'm having a bad year. And it's easy to just give up. It's like you say, you know what? 3 doors didn't open, but you just keep that positive in your mind, because we call it, trust me, that positive energy. it comes to you. It's the same way the negative, it will come if you call it, it will come. So you stay positive. You know what? This one's gonna open, and you pump yourself, and you know this tree didn't open. This one's gonna open. Let's go. You walk with that mentality to the next door. This one's gonna open. Talking to yourself, and you go, watch. This one's gonna open. You know.
Boom. Boom.
That's it.
And how do you feel when that door opened and you're able to enroll those families? You had confidence on you, right? I guess it's for you when you finally get the hit.
I bet you once that door open, the rest is easy. You got the hard part for you. I'm assuming is that door open.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because once it's open,
That's it.
that comes Danny Boom and
Pistol Pete, and that's it.
That's it.
Right. So
And talking about that, I have some question. One of the questions that I wanted to ask you, and probably that when you went from zero from Teddy, that's one of the moments. But what is the top two raise from ashes moment for you?
to raise.
From the ashes, like, okay, I'm in the bottom now.
Well, this is when I first came to United States. I only got $8,000, my signing bonus. You know, I was a guy that I didn't go to college. In Latin America, in Venezuela, we finish high school and then we get to sign to professional baseball. So I came here, and I was competing against a second round pick from Puerto Rico. His name was Edgar Cruz. That guy was signed with $500,000. And I'll tell you the little story. In minor leagues, there's no walking. I told you earlier, there's no walking. It's hustling everywhere.
Yeah, hustling. Yeah.
So we were stretching. This guy twisted his ankle a little bit, and they told him, stay here. They went to get a golf cart. Golf cart was just for the boss, you know, coaches, and there was no players. Right. And when I saw they took him on golf cart, I was like, ooh. So I remember that day I went back to the hotel. I called my mom. My mom asked me, you know, how's everything and blah, 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 blah. And I told Mom, I'm stuck here. She said, why? I'm competing against this guy. They gave him $500,000. And my mom, I remember like it was yesterday. She told me, let me see if I can put this in English. She told me, listen, God's son, she told me, hijo, recuerda que los hijos de Dios no tienen tranca en ningún lado. So God's son doesn't have any doors closed anywhere. So I was like, okay. I took that and I started competing. And once days went on and on and on, I knew the guy was pretty good defensively, but I knew I have a better bat than him. So I kept fighting, and all of a sudden when I saw myself, I went ahead of him and I never looked back. And that was I think the biggest, that was one of the biggest threats in if I can say it in my career, because it happened the first thing coming off the plane.
Wow. I can imagine how that must have felt. Like, he's getting $500,000, you're getting $8,000.
Yeah, like,
and they're pulling up to him with a golf cart. He gets to ride in a golf cart. He doesn't have to walk.
Yes. Yeah.
But maybe that was a blessing.
Well,
maybe that was your motivation
It was
Yeah.
a blessing, and thank God that I have, you know, my mom on my side. Because I was, trust me, I was a little down because, you know, it was tough. It was tough, man. The guy he was really good physically, you know, strong guy, and you know, but that's happened to a lot of people too, that you can have the right people on your side at the right time, because, you know, it's like I say, I think it's easier for a lot of people to give up than keep trying and keep pushing themselves.
I love it. And maybe one of the other moments was when you had the injury for your knee. I think it was in 2012. If you can go through that and how you came back, and not only came back, but you know, you won the 2014 Silver Slugger, and for me, you should have won the MVP again. But tell me how you from being injured in 2012, came back and had your best year?
Well,
in your career?
that was if I can call the worst time in my career was that one. I got hurt just before spring training. Then, they find me this doctor, and we have the right to get a second opinion. And my agent sent me to Vail, to Colorado, to Doctor. I don't remember his name.
Very famous, I think.
Yeah. He looked at me. So when he was about to tell me the result, he looked at me and say, "Has anybody talked to you about your injury?" And at that time, trust me, I was positive. I was like, "Shit, maybe I don't need surgery. I'm gonna get to play this season." That's the first thing I thought. I never thought that, oh man, this is bad. When he asked me that, I was like, oh man, maybe there's not. I think I'm playing this year. And I told him, no, nobody has done. So he looked at me and he said, "I've seen a lot of bad injuries. Yours are really, really bad." I was like, so he told me I was going to need 2 surgeries. When he said that, he had to walk out of the room because I couldn't talk. I started crying. My brother was there. Danny know my brother David. He played professional baseball too. Then he came back. He told me I need the first one for this, the second one for that. But again, we can spend 3 hours, 5 hours talking, and we want to come to the same thing, the mentality. I was a guy that I worked my butt off. And this is something that I explained to my son. I got 4 kids, but the oldest is a boy. He's 18, and they have 3 daughters. He liked baseball, but that's something that I try to put in his head. That I didn't have that talent, that big talent. I made myself working hard every day, and I never stop. And I have people that make fun of me that, man, take an off day. Then you know what? I'm gonna have plenty of time to rest when I'm done playing. And I work my butt off, and thank God, everything came the way I dreamed it, the way I pictured it myself. So the hard part for me and for any athlete when you come in after surgery is putting the work for your rehab, because the rehab can be as important as the surgery. If you don't do a good rehab, trust me, you're gonna have a setback, which can be really bad. And I've had the support of my family. I was every day working hard. They told me you have to do 10 repetitions of this. I used to do 15, 16. And I kept working. Thank God I came back. In 2013, I didn't win the comeback player of the year because unfortunately, unfortunately, Mariano Rivera came back from the surgery too, and he took it before me. But like I say, that mentality, that mindset. Trust me, we call everything that we put in our head. It's happening. Trust me, it's happening. So that's why we need to keep ourselves positive. And I used to go to bed, and who's pitching tomorrow? Danny. I used to watch Danny, on video. Okay, Danny likes to do this. I close my iPad, go back to sleep. Once I close my eyes, I start putting pictures. Situation, I'm coming, bases loaded, hitting a ball in the gap, 3 RBIs, hitting a homer here. And that was the way I fall asleep.
I love it.
Trust me. One thing, it's easier for me to say it now, but it works like that. We put negative and we put a lot of struggle in our mind. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is like that.
It's like we call it. Stay positive and keep grinding. It's hard.
Now that you say that, is a lot of relation to what we do. I have a lot of reps that come to me and say, I'm frustrated, I'm being out all week and nothing. And I ask them, so when your day start? And they say, well, usually at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., I go to the field. No. When it start? Yeah, like 10:30 a.m., no, you're doing it wrong. You have to start the night before. You have to go to your canvas. You have to see the area that you're going to be in the next day. And you have to put in your mind, what are the first 5 doors that you're going to knock? Start the night before. And then I ask, how many doors you knock? Oh, I knock like 100 doors. Well, now you need to knock 200. Until you find out that, okay, I need 200 to 1 door open. Or I need 150 for 1. So now you know your numbers.
Right.
And now that you know your numbers, now you know that you have to be there 150 times, 200 times in order to get
you know the numbers and you know the time.
Yes.
You say your day start at 10:30 and you knock 100. Well, what about if I start at 8:30? What about if I start at 9? It's the same thing. Trust me, it's the same thing. What I did.
There's such a connection.
Is right. I'll tell you this real quick. I signed with the Tigers in 2010, so my first season was in 2011. My son was 5 years old. So we have spring training in Lakeland, which it was 50 minutes from my house in Orlando. So I used to leave home at 4:30 in the morning, get to Lakeland at 5:20, and start working out. There was nobody there. There's no player there. Then everybody started working when the game's over. Game's over at 4, 3. So when they were working, I was walking to my car and coming home. So one of the new players, but it was veteran player. He saw me one day. He saw me 2 or 3 a week, and he was like, "This guy don't work. This guy don't do nothing." He came to me one day, hey, don't be afraid to hit the weight a little bit and blah, 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 blah. I look at him, I start laughing, and I tell him, don't worry about it. Worry about yourself, don't worry about me. Then the next day, I think he didn't like my answer. And he told me, hey, it's for real, man. You want to work with me? Get your ass here at 5:30 in the morning and you'll see. And he was like, then everybody was saying, what are you doing, man? Let that man alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do it that way. My son, he always liked baseball, and he told me, Daddy, I want to go to the field with you. Please don't leave me. If you try to wake me up and I don't want to wake up, just put water on me. And I was like, man, I didn't even wake him up. I carried him and put him in the car, and I went with him at 4:30 in the morning. So, like you saying, Danny, your day start at 10:30. You knocking 100 doors, but maybe what happened? You only know if you try. Yeah. What happened if I start at 9?
Yeah. So that leads me to another question for you. What is, for you, what is important to take risk?
Well, I had I think a different perception of the risk. Like when I came here, my risk was I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. Actually, I came to this country with $0 in my pocket. The only thing I brought in my pocket was receipt that we have to keep, how much we spend, going from my city, Ciudad Bolívar, to Caracas to get the visa. Everything that we spend, we have to keep the receipt. So when we came here, we showed the receipt and we get the money back. The risk, I have nothing to lose. Actually, I have a lot to gain. And that was why work again.
Hard work.
Work and put in my hours. We have to work to the gym an hour, I stay hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. I work, I put in the work, and like I say, man, we can spend 3 hours, 5 hours talking, and we're gonna end up in the same thing. Work, dedication, and more work and more work.
What would you say to some of our newer recruits that we hire, or team members that are constantly making excuses? Their car trouble, car tire, my dog is sick, and they want to have an amazing career. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, that's why you see players that only last a year or two. That's the difference. A player that plays 2-3 years and a player that plays 10 years in the big leagues. It seems short, but it's a lot. It's like here, you get a normal job. For you to retire, how many years you have to work for you to retire? How many?
In a regular job?
In a regular job?
30 years.
30, 40 years,
Yeah.
right?
Right, okay. What makes you think it's easy if you only play 10 years in the big leagues? You have the best pension that you can have. You say, oh, only 10 years. Yeah, but that's the difference for a guy that plays 2 years, that the one that played 10 years. That's a different a guy on your side that have a work here for a month, have a work here for another month, and a work. You need people. Like, let's say you need people, and I show up with my resume, and my resume says, oh, Victor only worked here for a month, and then Victor worked here for another month. What is the reason that you don't last on your jobs? There is something behind that, right? There have to be something behind that. Excuses. They don't put the work. And people think it's easy. But nobody knows until you have to do it, that you have to deal with that.
Yeah, only 1% in the nation do door-to-door. That's a percentage of people that is successful in door-to-door. It's not easy. And I can imagine what is the percentage of people in the United States that are MLB players. It had to be very little compared to the population.
Just for you to put it in your mind, we have the first 3 years in the big leagues, we play for the minimum. We don't have the right to negotiate contract. So we play for the minimum, right? Year 4, 5, and 6, there is something that it's called arbitration, and you can start demanding money and right? So, but people misunderstand that, and I ask the guys, who doesn't want to earn $20 million, $30 million, $15 million a year? Everybody, right? But what come with that? Production, more production, and more production. You have to produce. If you want more money, you have to produce. So that is the reason why anybody can play 3 years in the big league. Anybody. That's why it's really tough to play 10 years, because once you start getting paid, production can go down. Production gotta still come up. You want more money? Produce more. Simple.
Production.
Yeah,
It's
I love
production.
it. It's production. And
Sound familiar?
It's very familiar. and
Production, yeah.
This is a big word.
I usually
In our
reps.
space,
Yeah.
and yours,
Oh, yeah.
production.
Yeah, it's
In your space is big, and my space was big, and we can put it all together. Boom.
yeah.
Boom!
There you go.
Because I think when you put it all together, life is about production.
Oh, yes.
If you don't produce in your job, you're done. If I don't produce in my job, I'm done. So production, what can I do to produce? Well, that's what we call behind the scenes. That nobody knows what you guys do. Get together and go knock that door, and no, unless you have close friend, and I have close friend that knows what I do and what should do to produce.
Yeah, no, it's, I love it because, I usually tell reps, you know, usually when somebody going to start in door to door, they don't see it as a real job. They, even me, when I started door to door, I have people in my own family that say, door to door, get a real job. You already have a DirecTV company that you're doing good. What are you going to do door to door now? And I tell them, take the risk. Give me 6 months that you are doing all in, and I promise you, are going to change your life. Because the commission from this business is very good. Obviously, not compared to Major League Baseball commission, but it's really good.
Close.
People can retire, easily in 5 years if they really produce, like you say. So, but that mentality in that, I want to ask you something. When you get, because you say when people get the money, the production start going down. So I guess for some people the motivation is the money, for some people the other motivation. But what was your motivation? And when you reach that, if it's money, when you get the money, it's going down the motivation. So what keep you going?
It's definitely think the money is a relief for anybody. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have a good life. Your family is gonna have a good life. But this is another story that I told my wife one day. Man, if that day comes that I sign a contract, trust me, that day I'm gonna start playing. That it's not that I don't care, but I can go to bed, without thinking that I'm gonna get released. And we got a little bit of security. My wife told me, don't talk like that because I know you. And I told her, what do you mean? I'm definitely gonna be fine because. We have the money. I don't have to care that much. And she was like, okay. Boom. I got the first contract. And I got, it wasn't that big. It was $15.5 million for 5 years.
Not that big.
With the Indians.
Yeah.
Well, what you see now, But I remember I signed that contract. A few months later, I was struggling. And I didn't talk to anybody. And since my wife came to me, remember what I told you last year?
The wife, remember what I told you. Yeah, we all got that.
We all get that. And that's when I was like, get out of here. But, she was right.
Yeah.
And the one thing is that for me, and unfortunately doesn't happen to a lot of players, but for me, I get that money. I wanna show that I worth more than what they gave me. That was my what it drive me. That was my drive. That I wanna show people that I deserve more. No, I don't wanna hear people that he got the money and he laid back and he doesn't earn that money. And trust me. My mentality from my first day in the big league until my last day in the big league spring training was that I was another rookie. I need to make this team because I knew for me having that work ethic, I know there's young kids looking at me, and if they see me, they see this guy have 15, 13 years in the big leagues making money. He's coming early, work his butt off. They can't relax. They have to do it because they don't have nothing, And that was something that I always had in my mind. Yeah, I got the money, but I want to prove that I work.
You was a
more.
leader. You was a leader, and I think everybody see you in the sport, in the game as a leader.
You're a leader.
You show
for sure.
You show what to do and how to do it. So that's what we want people to be a leader too.
Right.
To show others. I love that. I want to ask you something. When you have there's some times in life that you need to have hard conversations, right? With a coach, with a manager. What do you think about those moments that you need a hard conversation with?
Well, that needs to happen. I think it needs to happen because what make make you guys think that you have brothers, sisters. You have brothers, sisters. I have brothers, sisters. We fight a lot. So baseball, we spent 7.5 months together, which it was more than I was spending with my family. There's gonna be fight. And I'm saying fight, not like we used to fight. Disagreement, let's call it disagreement, right? And there's gonna be a lot of arguing and, but at the end of the day, that is why we're spending so much time together. That needs to happen. But that's when it comes for you being a professional, understanding what's your job. Being honest yourself. Look at yourself at the mirror, and I'm sorry about the word, but why they getting in my ass? Why? There's got to be a reason. Why? You've been lazy. You've been late. You just not putting in the work. There is a reason for the stuff to happen. One day, I was leading the league in RBIs. We were about to April, May, go to June, like May 30, and I was leading the American League in RBI with 30 RBIs. And I had this at bat, bases loaded, 1 out. And every time I saw men in scoring position, that was money for me. That is how I'm gonna get paid. Trust me. And that was the dog coming out of me. This is my food. This is the food for my family. So I have to bring it in. Trust me, there was nobody that felt worse than me. So I ended up hitting a ground ball. I didn't get the RBI. Next day, the hitting coach called me to a little office, just him and I. Trust me, I went home. That was something that cut my sleep. I can't sleep when I leave a man in third. He came to me and said, "Well, that's bullshit. What you did last night?" And I look at him like, I was leading the league in RBI. And I look at him and, that was whole shit at bat. You don't have the discipline and blah, blah, blah. And I started laughing. I'm like, you serious? And he was like, yeah. And then I noticed he was serious. And that was the closest thing that I was to fight a coach, which it was going to be bad, but thank God I didn't. I even closed my hand up, like, he saw that I got really pissed. He told me, "Well, I'm going to talk to you anymore." And I told Shelton. His name is Derek Shelton, which good friend of mine. I think he's still the manager from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He told me, "I'm not going to talk to you anymore." And I told Shelton, "Please do it. If you're going to come and talk to me like that, please don't talk to me anymore." And I told him, you know me better than anybody, that I care about this shit. Please, don't talk to me again like that. That same day, I came in here, 4 for 5 with 4 RBIs. Wow. He came to me after the game and, "Hey, we're gonna need to fight a lot more."
I love it.
But
it happens.
It's gonna happen. I mean,
It's happening. And I think sometimes we need to listen to that. We need to hear that.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, even us, top performance, we need to hear that.
We don't like to hear it, but you know what?
Well, that is a saying that truth hurt, right?
Right.
Yes, correct.
I mean, again, I was at some point that it didn't happen to me a lot, but it did happen a few times. We have our strength conditioning guy during the season. I go early to the ballpark 1:30 p.m. Game is at 7:05, and I get to the ballpark at 1:30 to get my work done. I lift weight, I do all my stuff early. Most of the people like to do it after the game. Well, I do it early. So, and I used to get pissed, but I didn't get pissed about the strength conditioning. When he comes to me, hey, Vic, gotta go to the weight room. And I'm like,
Wow.
but I didn't get pissed with him because I don't like when he comes to me, because when he comes to me, it's because I'm not doing my job. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. That was the way I see it.
Yeah.
And I get pissed about myself. Get your ass in the weight room. Let's go.
Your ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't a guy, and that's something that I tell my wife, that it's bad, like in life. Example, my son play baseball. You know, my wife get mad once in a while that I tell my wife, and I try to explain to her, I can't go grab my son in the arm and tell him, let's go to the baseball field to hit or whatever, because when I do that, it's all wrong. Why it's all wrong? Because I'm joined and I want him more than him. He's the one who have to come to me. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You're the one who have to come to me, because I tell my son, I still have stuff when I used to hit, and I haven't played in 5 years. And I told him, I already did my thing. You know, I'm here for you. If I'm the one who have to go grab you, there is something wrong.
Show me that you want it.
Yeah.
You are the one. So that was my thought process the whole time, and that's why it didn't happen much. It did happen a few times. You know, I played 20 years, but it happens, you know, a few times, which I feel bad about myself. I mean, mad. I was pissed about myself, not about the coach, the strength conditioning guy. He was doing his job, trying to keep my body in shape.
Show me that you want it.
But I like that you turn that energy, instead of anger on him for critiquing you, onto putting it on yourself.
Right.
You know, and that's
because most of the players used to, man, leave me alone. You know, no. First of all, he's not getting paid to be a babysitter. He's getting paid to keep everybody in shape. And if you're not willing to be in shape, you're not gonna produce. You're coming down. Somebody else is gonna come and do your job.
Love it.
As simple.
So for you, what is the recipe to win? What do you think is the recipe?
The recipe to win is just one word, and it comes to you and it comes to me. Everybody have to do their part. Everybody has to do their part. To win a baseball game, that's why you have the leadoff, you know, batting order. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a job to do, right? You know, the leadoff hitter, his job is get on base. The second hitter, you know, move him, put him in a scoring position. 3, 4, 5, they're getting paid to driving him. You know, and that's how it works. It's a team. It's a teamwork. Everybody has to do their part. Translating that to you guys, everybody has to do their part. You can do yours. You know you're gonna do yours. You know you're gonna do yours. There's only the 1 or 2, 3 that you come and knock 100 doors, and there's another 2 or 3 that only knock 30 or 40. It's hard to win like that. It's hard to win like that. That's why it's a team, but individually, everybody needs to do their part. To win a championship, which is the goal. The goal is to win a championship. Your goal is to be the best in the business. So it takes a lot, and it takes a lot. For me, I work my butt off during the off season. We all work our butt off, and then we go to spring training, and you see 2 or 3 players fat, out of shape. Those 3 guys are disrespecting us as a team, because we all know that we need those 3 to win the championship. They don't care, we care. So if you don't care, you don't belong here.
Love it.
wow.
So everybody had to put their part. You're part of the team. You know?
So true.
And individually, just lead from the front.
Right. Hey, and trust me, there's a lot of times that teammates pick up each other. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it in. You coming after me, you bring it in for me. and it works like that. I mean, that's why it's a team. That's why it's a team, and everybody have to do their part.
Love it. What is the biggest lesson the fame teach you?
Well, the biggest lesson that the fame teach me, it was that I never thought, maybe being fame, but I never put in my head that I was fame.
And that's
I
true.
guess because I'm coming from a very humble family. I never had anything. That going back, I had $8,000 signing bonus, and 2 weeks after I got that money, I went to ask my mom for about, I think it was like $5, maybe $10, to take my girlfriend, which is my wife today, to go eat some hamburgers and stuff, right? My mom gave me that look that I was like, oh. She told me, son, it's all gone. Yeah, she bought clothes for all my 4 brothers. She fixed the car. It was broke. But trust me, that didn't hit me. Because we never had anything. We used the money, buy clothes for my brothers. I never had anything. So I learned, and I thank God that I learned early in my career that I'm only entertaining people on the field because I have a uniform. But once I'm done, I was just another people on the street. So the fame, I didn't really look at like, if it teach me something was that I have to handle myself better on the streets, because I want to be example for the kids out there, that they looking at you, and I don't want to be that guy that, these guys. And well, I had another story. Victor Jose, I was in Cleveland. My son was like 3 years old. I took a helmet and I gave it to him. He had a helmet. One of those days I was really struggling. I was like 420 or something. Touched first base, and frustrating, I hit the helmet against. I was frustrated. Okay, I grabbed my helmet, went back in there. So we went on the road trip, and my wife had some party for my son, and they were playing baseball in the house. All of a sudden, my wife heard this noise. And she came, what happened? And Victor Jose, my son, threw the helmet against the wall.
Oh my God.
So
wow.
She saw Victor Jose. Why you do that? Why you do that? And my son stared at him. And he told my wife, my dad do it. What? Okay, what happened when I called home? My wife, you gotta handle yourself better. You need to quit doing that. And I was like, Margaret, hey, wait a minute, what happened? Well, Victor Jose did this. And I was like, you know what? You're right. It's my young kid. So you imagine how many kids out there looking at us.
Wow.
And since that day, I never did anything on the field like that. All my frustration, I went inside and I did whatever I had to do, but I never did it again on the field.
Wow.
So after today, Victor, I have to say that if someone asks me who my man crush is, I think it's Víctor Martínez
Right.
too. You're my hero too now.
And he's totally right. He's one of the most humble
Yeah.
person I met in my life. And I have a story too. Years ago when I met Victor, I was doing something in his house, and they prepare food and say, sit down to eat, Danny, with us. And then I sit down with them, and I was like, wow, this is Víctor Martínez house, and I think it was chicken, and I was eating with, the fork and knife, whatever. And Victor looked at me like, what are you doing? That's chicken. Take the thing with your hands and start biting. And I was like,
Enjoy.
That's the only way that.
That's right. That's how you eat chicken,
man.
Of course.
Use your hand. Let's go.
Yeah. From that day, I was like, okay, this is what it is. It was amazing to have you today.
Yeah,
Victor.
super grateful for you to.
Let me tell you a story real quick about that.
I want to hear it. I want to tell me this.
I was like 15 or 16 years old, I had invited to go eat, dinner with. This is a family that was have a little more than we do, and we went to eat chicken. ¿Cómo puede decir la brasa? That's something like pollo tropical. Have you eaten pollo tropical?
With the chicken,
Rotisserie. Yeah.
Really good. I used to eat. I used to not till today. I eat the bones and.
I love. But are you white meat person or dark meat?
Dark meat.
Oh, I love dark meat. Do you love dark meat? Oh, it's so juicy.
Dark meat. So we went to this place and man, these people, and I feel really uncomfortable eating with people like that because I sat down and I ate and I got these 2 bones left, just the bones, and I know these are so juicy. But I just can't do this in front of these people. I just, I can't do it. I'm like, what can I do? I went like this, look like this. I grab it like this, and I put it in my hands and like this. And I wait for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the restaurant. I need to use the restroom. And I destroy both of them in the restaurant, man.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
We got to bring Victor and his wife out to a restaurant with us because when we get the tomahawk steak, the big tomahawk steak, you know what everybody wants to do? We do it. We bite that bone right in the restaurant. We don't care. It's too good.
But
that's awesome.
Again, Victor, thank you for being here, for accepting our invitation. I can say that, I know Victor for his whole career, but I know him as a person, as a human being, and is what you see here.
We're so honored to have you today. A lot of what you share with us today translates into helping us with our careers in solar and sharing and training others to be inspired and motivated as well. We're so grateful. Thank you so much for coming in today.
I thank you guys for having me. And it does. I talked to Danny before I came here, and it does relate it. It does get hand in hand, on a different way, but it does takes a lot of hard work, mentality, and drive, decision, stop thinking, I might stop it, just get on your car and do it, man, then do it. And you're gonna get reward for that. Trust me. We all done it, so that one is not gonna be an exception. Just keep working hard, keep your head up and work hard. I used to call it, hey, put your head down, swim once in a while, bring it up, breathe, and get back to swim.
I love it. So while Victor's here, I'd like maybe me and you, Danny, say a little words to all the new people coming on board and joining us at Titan Solar Power. Yes. I'd like to say welcome to all the new people at Titan Solar Power. I'd like to say a welcome to all the new people at Titan Solar Power, Titan Energy. We have here Danny Rodriguez.
Hey guys, welcome to Titan Solar Energy. We are here for you, and we know that this is a great way to start your career if you're starting, and you have the best leaders like Pistol Pete and other people that we have in our team.
So I'm Pistol Pete. I'm the Senior Vice President of Titan Solar Power. This is Danny Rodriguez, the Vice President of Titan Solar Power. With us today, we have Víctor Martínez, a true champion. So if you want to join our great green mission and become a champion and learn from the best, welcome aboard. We're going to show you the way to your success.